How we doing, people? Happy New Year. Hope you had a good night and it was trouble free. Um, Seen in the news that there was a terrorist attack in New Orleans. Some crackpot driving a truck into people, just scumbag, absolute maniac, know what I mean? Just terrible, do you know? I always tend to stay off the streets at New Year because, not even just because of things like that, just I always think there's always trouble, like, you always see in the papers, always violence, and obviously a lot of people getting behave civilly, know what I mean? But I don't know, maybe it's my own past experiences as well, do you know? Just kind of, and I'm older now as well, do you know what I mean? And being a dad, but I had a few drinks in that last night, at a friend's, and I got home late, uh, had a long lie-in, and then I've just been kind of just watching TV and eating, but um, I'm got to go live tomorrow night as well. So if anybody's kicking about on YouTube, feel free to jump on. Um, so anyway, I tried to make this video last week, and I don't know why I didn't post it. What I mean is I tried to make a video about this subject last week. Well, I did make a video, but I didn't like it. When I watched it back, I was like, I don't know, something about that. So I deleted it. But I just thought I would do a video, because my kids, he's not using the computer or anything. So the case that I'm going to talk about is one I've already made a video about before, and it was about a guy called Tanveer Ahmed, right? Who, a guy from Bradford, but obviously he's Pakistani heritage, and the I was actually in Kilmarnock prison with this guy. Didn't he really? He's not somebody I would kind of have in my circle or be in his circle, but obviously, a couple of times I'd kind of see him in the cat when we'd book, like, know how when you're buying like your canteen, like your juice and chocolate, crisps, phone credit, whatever. I'd be like next to him in the queue and stuff, and he kind of looked like he was a bit vacant behind the eyes. I don't know. He just seemed like there was something a bit missing in him. Was my kind of impression, but he was in prison serving a life sentence for murder. Now, some people might know of this case because it was quite high profile at the time. What he had done was seen that he murdered a shopkeeper, another Pakistani guy, but the Pakistani guy that he murdered was from Glasgow, right? Now, I don't know the exact distance between Bradford and Glasgow, but it's 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 a journey, do you know? Talking a good few hundred miles, man, at least. Um, and he had, what was the guy's name he killed? Oh, jeez, man, that's embarrassing. I can't remember that guy's name. I think it was something Shah. Um, and Tanveer Ahmed had seen like social media posts that this guy was making, that Tanveer Ahmed felt disrespected Islam, right? And before I go further, I want to clear up that there was somebody that commented last time, no, that's not what happened. He killed that guy because he wished Christians a happy Easter. I've actually read some of the legal stuff on his case and can't find that anywhere. And I don't, to be honest, I don't see why he would have done that for saying Happy Easter. Just, it sounds just like a fucking, I'm not going to stick up for this guy in any way, shape or form, but that just sounds like a bit of a rumour to me. And if anybody who's watching this was involved in that case, or if they were witnesses to it or whatever, and they know that, then feel free to correct me. But Tanveer Ahmed had driven, he was so enraged by these social media posts or whatever it was, he drove all the way from Bradford. He was a taxi driver, I think, right? He drove all the way from Bradford to Glasgow to this guy's shop, right? Talk about dedication, man. And started arguing with him in the shop. The CCTV standing doing all this. See, like you see them mad crazy mullahs and all that, the Taliban cunts, not they're all standing doing all this shit when they're talking, right? But you can't hear the sound. And he's attacked him in the shop, right? Stabbed him fucking 30 times or something, I think, and crushed his skull, right? I think that the victim's brother tried to intervene, or it was somebody who I think worked in the shop, but couldn't save the guy, you know what I mean? So when Tanveer Ahmed was finished, when he'd completed what he believed was his mission, he went outside the shop and sat in a bus stop waiting for the cops to come. Didn't even try and flee, just waited for the cops, right? Which you'll see on the thumbnail with this video. On the thumbnail, that's him sitting in the bus stop, just committed a murder and waiting to take his medicine. But he went to court for it. Obviously, he was convicted and he was sentenced to life imprisonment with a recommendation that he serve at least 27 years before he can apply for parole, right? Now, while all this was going on, I had just been transferred from the year before this happened. I think this was 2016, I think this happened. So the year before that, so 2015, I was transferred from Low prison to Kilmarnock prison because I was charged with racially aggravated breach of the peace. Now, a breach of the peace charge, if you don't know, I don't know what the, like, or disturbing the, all that shit, right? And I can't even remember what I was actually accused of, because I literally can't remember, right? But I do know what they're talking about, because there was a guy who was in Low from Pakistan who was in for murder, butchered his kid's mum, right? It's the second video I ever made on this channel. It's called Terrorist Sympathiser. This guy was just no light, man. I seen him getting battered a few times and all that, get cracked, whatever. He was just an arrogant bastard, man. And I used to teach his pal English, right? Now, me that's the racist, right, sat and taught his pal English for like 3 fucking years. Like, don't think so, mate. But anyway, fuck it, innit? Some of them are always playing that race card, man. Especially in the jail, right? And see, they don't even need to investigate it. They just, somebody would just need to make, that's what, it's happened to me a few times, right? But it's happened to me twice in my life, right? But anyway, not getting into all that, know what I mean? But he had made he's making allegations, saying there was a terrorist attack in Tunisia, and my son's grandparents were they were there on holiday, but this happened the week after they left, right, there was 30 people shot dead on a beach in Tunisia, and we were all watching it in the news, and this was when all this ISIS shit was happening and all that. I was right into reading a lot of stuff about the Middle East and all that, because I was getting clued up in a lot of shit, and he had walked past one day and made a comment about, that's what you get for invading our countries or some shit, and I'm like, what? So obviously I was doing shit to him, like, putting his laundry in the bin, he couldn't find his clothes or that shit, right, like fucking with his head, know what I mean? And then he went up and says, I was, because I think he knew I was going to batter him, I was actually waiting in a part of the prison one day to attack him, because they moved me from one part of the jail to another, and I just thought, I'm battering you next time I see you, man. And I was waiting up at the Link Centre, and he walked in with the imam, which is like the Muslim religious leader, and I just thought, I'm not attacking somebody when that would be like somebody attacking me when I'm standing talking to the minister coming out of fucking church, not just no doing that, mate, know what I mean? That's bad karma, man. And then he ended up saying I was racial, whatever it was, right? So I get transferred to Kilmarnock prison, and was ball deep reading about like all these countries like Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Iran, Yemen, Syria, and how they work, how a lot of the people, the cultures and all. I find it interesting, know what I mean? It is interesting for me anyway. So Tanveer Ahmed, the guy that killed the shopkeeper, he's been admitted to the jail, and this is what's pure weird, right? The staff, the prison staff, shouted two of my pals, right, and says, will this guy be okay if we bring him into this hall? They're asking, like, a couple of pals of mine if it's okay to bring him into this block. What we call it a hall, the hall, right? Like, I think in England they call it like a block, like, know how, like, where all the prisoners' cells are, and the wee tables where you eat your dinner and all that shit, or the section, whatever you want to call it. And I said to, so my pal, right, for Greenock, he came and said to me, here, they're asking us about this guy, right? And I says, ask him if he's got Wahhabi ideology, which is basically what the Wahhabis were like, the kind of the Saudis, right? Ibn Abdul Wahhab was like kind of this kind of Saudi figure who, like, a kind of Puritan kind of thing. So the Wahhabis were like basically the ultra conservatives, right? Major, right? And he said no, right? He said that's what his answer came back, no. And I was like, my pal, he's talking shit. Or else he's got, because we were just trying to basically find out, because we'd heard all this shit as well about how he was meant to have killed this shopkeeper because the guy wished us white folk no Merry Christmas, Happy Easter. And we'd heard that, obviously, and see in jail, you just need to make something like that up and somebody will stab you, know what I mean? You don't need to prove it, know what I mean? So, but he came into they came into the wing, and the only people, like, I would see him conversing with were the kind of, how do I put it? Like what they call in Russian prison literature, the cast-offs or whatever, the fucking, the lepers of the place, like the people nobody speaks to, the people only held in high esteem, or that kind of shit. And I remember hearing like kind of, no rumours, but like just like they were doing no anything sexual or anything, but like getting mad with it and all that. But I never seen it. I don't. But the people he was hanging about with were getting on it. They were taking drugs and shit. But I don't know if he did. But maybe he just sat with them because nobody else spoke to them, and naturally you're gonna latch. If you're one of the people in prison who basically hasn't got a lot of friends, hasn't got a big circle, and somebody else comes into prison who's of the same kind of cloth, then yous are obviously going to band together, you know. It's just humans, innit? But after a while, he started doing these weird things, right? This Tanveer, right? He would go on the phone, the prison phone, right, where every phone call was recorded, right, and probably listened to. Especially with the type of crime he was in for. I would have, if I was one of them, if I was like counter terror, whatever, I would be I would be searching his contacts with a fine tooth comb, know what I mean? Just seeing, follow the money in it. So I remember I used to walk past, right, and it would be pure, like in the but covering his head and all that, right, on the phone, and pure talking pure low, nobody could hear you would, because it's out in the landings, everybody's walking past and all, and I'd never seen anybody acting like that on a jail phone, like pure, you couldn't see his face or nothing. Anybody else I've seen on it, they're stoning, watching, looking about and doing all this shit and all that. He's just fucking, he's got his head down, covering himself and fucking, I'm like, that man, what's he doing? But it turned out, right, he had been phoning, he'd been, so basically it was like a three-way relay, whatever it was, right, fucking, he was phoning somebody who was transferring the call to, like, these rallies in Pakistan where they were basically like anti-blasphemy hardliners and that, who were championing him, right? And he's on giving it all the fucking all the speech, and obviously the screws have found it, and they took him to segregation, the seg, right? And obviously everybody's found out about it. So couple of right good boys that, in fact, a couple of them were the ones that the screws had asked in the first place if he could come into the hall, would he be safe in here because of what he was in for. I find it strange that they even asked that, to be honest, because he wasn't in for killing like one of us, he was in for killing like a fellow Muslim, but a different branch of Islam. So maybe they felt there was some credence to that thing that they said about the Happy Easter and all that shit, I don't know. But, or maybe they just thought it's the jail man, ain't no happening here. But they moved him to the seg, and then everybody's like, he comes back in here. If they bring him back in here, he's getting done. Because a lot of us kind of thought that because he had been moved, we were under the impression that he had been kind of like on there like calling for like no our deaths in general, but just our kinds, right? And obviously there was a plan to assault him, right? And I'm sitting like that, oh fuck me, man. I'm like, I already have that breach of the peace to go to court for. And to be honest, if I had participated in that planned assault on him, that would have been, it wasn't it, the plot to assault him wasn't racially motivated at all. It was motivated by the fact that people felt that he was a danger and a threat. It's nothing to do with his beliefs. Like, nobody cares, man. Like, you're what you are. But I was like, ah, fuck me, man. I was like, if he comes back on this wing and he gets set about and if I get involved, like, that's going to hit the papers, might be on the fucking news, add the extra time onto my set, it would have fucked us, because I still had that charge to go up for, and imagine getting moved for one jail for one of them saying you were racially abusing them, and I would like to add, I went to court for that and was found not guilty. Only thing I've ever been found not guilty on at court. So just thought I'd throw that in there. But my point is, I was already moved for one prison for having a run-in with an Asian guy, and I was pals with his mate who was for Pakistan. He was in for murder as well. Used to teach him English all the time. He was quite funny, the wee guy. But I'm not got, if I'm that way inclined, I'm not going to be dealing with anybody like that. And if I'm racist, know what I mean? I was fucking raging that they were calling me that. I was raging because I'm no, know what I mean? But getting back to it, what I was meaning was, you imagine I had been kicked out of one prison for a racially motivated charge. Then the prison they move you to, you get charged with battering somebody who's Pakistani and whatever. So that's just not gonna go down well at all. It's just gonna make you look like a mad kinda, I don't know, just a pure Neanderthal, know what I mean? Brain dead knuckle dragger, know what I mean? But so anyway, he didn't come back on the wing, and he was transferred to Shotts prison. Thank fuck, man. Maybe that was God intervening, know what I mean? Because there was a lot of good boys in that Kilmarnock prison when I was there in C Hall and D. Well, there's good boys all the prison I was in, right? But that prison in particular, but that was where I finished that big sentence. So I met a lot of good boys. I mean, it was probably one of the very few places where I've actually felt physically, viscerally, felt respect and respected. I don't know how to explain it. It was just something else. A lot of Green Up boys there, about 15 of them, 12 of them. Shout out to them anyway, Green Up, you know what I mean? I'll be going up there soon. I see my Roscoe. But aye, all right, good boys, know what I mean? But that was crazy, man. He went to Shotts prison, I think, and then got moved to Full Sutton. That's a Cat A jail in England. Every walk of life down there, man. And I'm sure I read something in the papers saying, like, counter-terror squad were fucking investigating him or looking into him or something, and I'm just like, because see putting somebody like him down there, well, see in Scotland, we don't have this problem in our prison system where it's like big gangs of Muslims and all. Like, England has this problem big time, right? They're like the strongest group down there. They're overrepresented as well, right? And putting somebody like him in a Cat A jail where there's probably all these mad Al-Qaeda terrorists and ISIS and whatever, he'll be sitting down there with his feet up, know what I mean? He'll be loving that. But we don't have that issue, thank God, know what I mean? Up here in our prisons, we're just us, know what I mean? But aye, that was crazy, that. So as I says, I made a video about this like last week or something, and then when I watched it back, I just felt like I just didn't like the video for some reason. I seemed like I was distracted in my mind, and I was just rabbling shite. So I was like, delete that, and I can't remember what I made a video about in its place. I made a video about something else, and then, so I made it tonight and posting it. But thanks for listening that anyway, man, and hopefully the start of this year I got to see a lot more stuff happening with the channel. I've got a couple of belters ideas, but it's me putting them into practice, man. Do you know what I mean? But it's only day one, innit? But watch this space. Anyway, hope you're all having a good start to the year, a good night, and look for, so as I says at the start, I'm going live tomorrow as well at 8:30. So, hopefully get a good laugh. Could be doing it. But anyway, yous all take care, good night, and I will see yous next time I'm on. Catch yous.